On Running is one of the fastest growing shoe brands of this decade. I've actually got a few pairs here, and in today's video, I'm actually gonna break down the exact funnel and strategy and emails that they use to really crank up the numbers when it comes to their overall approach to marketing. Now, I'm gonna go through a board, and you actually have a link to this board in the description of the video, and in that board, it has everything that I'm gonna show you, but it also has editable email designs. So you can literally take these email designs, copy and paste them into your own Figma file, and edit them for your own brand. This is super useful if you're in any of the sports niches and you want to copy their branding, or if you even sell shoes online. This tool is going to really help you. So you have access to the board, get access to it, but let me quickly run you through their overall funnel. Now, I'm gonna go through On Running's entire funnel here. But before I actually do that, I wanna point, or rather bring your attention to this Figma board. You have access to this Figma board in the description of this video. There's a link, sign up, you get access to it. And the really cool thing here is these email designs, which I'm gonna speak to quite specifically. You can edit these. You can literally copy, paste these, edit them, and then build them into your own Klaviyo account so that you can have emails that look exactly like On Running's, which is something really cool that a lot of these free giveaways and stuff like that don't really do. These are editable. So you just copy and paste them into your own Figma file and you can edit them and play around with them. So let's go through On Running. Now, if anyone's familiar with On Running, I mean, look, I've got a pair right here. These shoes are badass, super cool, one of the best and fastest growing shoe brands in the world right now. You see them everywhere. And I wanted to actually break down, yes, their homepage and their funnels, but more specifically, their email designs. And so I went onto their website and we analyzed pretty much everything from a category page perspective, product page perspective, and email page perspective. Now, I want to point your attention really to how these people and how the business has kind of laid out their content in a really nice, easy, negative spacing, great, legible format that makes it super easy to replicate, but also optimizes for conversions here. So if we look at their product page here, it's super reduced and they've really followed the fundamentals of product photography with people in them is always going to convert better, right, than standalone product photography. You'll notice that the only time they're actually pointing out to the products here is further down in the pages, and wherever possible, they're showing images of people using the product, right? If you have images of people using your product, you're gonna see higher click-through rates. This is just across the board, pretty much for every kind of e-commerce brand. One thing they've done really nicely here as well, black on white text. They've done a bit of white on, shaded background here, but that's just because of the image design here. But black on white, this is an Ogilvy known fact, is always going to convert better. It's easier to read. And you'll notice here, they've left aligned all of their text. You'll notice a lot of brands like try and center align their stuff. Human beings read copy from left to right for pretty much 95% of all cultures out there. Left to right is how we read, and they've kind of followed that quite nicely here. Super clear indication of like what they're trying to push. It's not crowded, it's easy to navigate, and it's super clean. Something I really like about their homepage. In terms of their category pages here, you'll notice that they've kind of followed in quite nicely in terms of seasonality, gender, but a really solid mixture of actual human beings in the photos. Once again, a nice rule of thumb for design. Human beings in the photos when they're featuring products. And you can see they've done that across the board for winter essentials. 50% of the content for women's, 50% of the content for men's, 80% of the content for accessories, travel apparel. It's just human beings in every single one of the photos. And in many cases, they're using the actual product, which I really like. I'm not gonna go into too much depth in terms of the category pages. Really quickly, sorry to interrupt the video. I just wanted to tell you something really cool that we've started doing with Inbox. I've actually created a school community where I teach you anything and everything I know about email and SMS marketing, from really advanced campaign strategies to how to simply set up your Klaviyo account, all the way to building really cool automations for the back end of your e-commerce store. Whether you're a business owner trying to learn how to do email marketing or an email marketer trying to learn how to become a better email marketer, there is a link in the description to this school community where I teach you everything I know. Check it out, it's worthwhile. Book a call to have a chat with me to see if you're a right fit for the community, and if you are, I'd love to get you in there. Anyway, sorry for interrupting your video, let's get back to it. Product pages, super clean as well. Left aligned text, nice and easy to actually see how things work. You've got the image carousel here, add to bag, super straightforward, bestseller call out here. Listen, like anytime you can kind of get a nice replication of like an Amazon listing to a certain degree, that's going to work really well. They've kind of gotten close here, but they've also really nicely spaced out and made things super easy to read. I mean, it's just clean and easy to use. What I do want to pay attention to, where my expertise is more focused on, is the emails. So you'll notice here, a lot of these emails all have, once again, human beings using the products. If you can get human focused and human beings actually in your product imagery, displaying your products as we see here, you're gonna see a higher click rate. And you'll notice here, it's not crowded. It's just image followed by a call out. Now, one of the things I do kind of see them slipping up on a little bit here though, is above the fold and below the fold. So when you think about email marketing, when somebody gets an email, they have what they see above the fold, which is before they scroll, and everything they see after they scroll. They've done a good job actually including the primary header text above the fold, but one of the issues I'm kind of seeing is if I'm looking at this in an email, I'm probably not going to see the call to action until I scroll, which is below the fold. Typical rule of thumb is you want to have call to actions above the fold. You don't want to obviously crowd out the image here, but you want to move your call to actions above the fold and perhaps actually have the header text being like more of an action-driven piece of text. Pack the essentials is good, but awe-inspiring performance is not, right? You want to have something that says, like, is pushing somebody to do something within the email. And saying awe-inspiring performance is more of a description rather than a push, if that makes sense. But you know what they've kind of done nicely here, product photos here, quite nice. One of the things they did here too, which I kind of like, is for him, for her, nice and easy. I would have liked to have seen call to actions below each of these product images, pretty much across the board for all of these emails. I do like how they've gone left align. You'll notice a lot of email designs have center align text. So like if I click this, and you'll notice, and once again, if you have this file, you can edit this, right? See how it's like center aligned? Human beings don't normally read center aligned. We're so conditioned to reading from left to right, and they've kind of nicely done that across the board with all these emails. One of the things that I think really speaks to me within these email designs though, is just how clear and plain and like just clean the aesthetic actually is, which I think a lot of people seem to miss out on. They try to like jumble things up and make it super confusing. On Running has that super reduced aesthetic, which is quite nice. But you know, still, once again, I think some of these like header texts need to be dialed in a little bit in terms of like what they're actually trying people to do, get people to do. The countdown is on. You know, the better one would be something like get gifts before the countdown ends, right? There's a verb, get, right? Smart gifting. Like this is okay, it's more of a describer. Start smart gifting, right? Something like that. Just like moving the thing to encourage somebody to take an action as opposed to simply, you know, describing what's happening thereafter. But overall, these emails are clean, nice, well done aesthetic. One of the things I did notice though, however, is there's no pop-ups kind of showing up, and I had to subscribe to their newsletter this way. This could be due to a targeting issue or just because they've pixeled me a little strangely. But if I go here into incognito, let me show you here. We jump in here and let's see if the pop-up actually shows up. So here we go. This is one pop-up. It goes here. Let's opt in, sign up now. Perfect. So terrible. Like this actual form here though, really bad. They're forcing you off the website to use the discount code, which is super stupid. They should be giving me the discount code immediately on this form. Right now they're forcing me off their website. So now if I want to use the code, I have to leave their website to find the discount code, which is surprising for a brand that is this big that's doing that. They should be including the discount code right here and then have a button that auto applies the discount here, right? But unfortunately, it's not what they're doing. Little error can be fixed. I mean, it is probably a major thing to be honest, but it's an easy fix. And I recommend everybody do that. And if you want to learn how to do the sign-up form strategies that we use, check out the school community. There's a link to that. But obviously, get access to this board. Like you can have these files for free, and you can also take a look at all their product photography and their product pages, all that good stuff. That's all yours. Anyway, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. 2 videos every single week. Check out the school community if you want to learn how to become a better email marketer and how to design emails like this.